Do you want to have an easier, fuller, and happier life as you age? Then do not do any of the things I'm going to share in this video today. So here we go. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Stone, and this is Carry On. And after 30 years of coaching experience, from business leaders to everyday women, I now help women over the age of 50 to step into the most powerful season of their lives. And in the years that I've dedicated to this cause, I have seen a lot. Being the youngest child in my family, I have a tendency to learn from people who have gone on before me. So today, we're going to talk about the things that I've learned from watching other people as they've been growing older. And I'll share the things that I'm avoiding so that I can live a fuller and happier life. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, do not feel old and useless. You cannot adopt a defeated mindset. Life is not over just because your kids have grown and moved away, or you don't have enough money in your retirement account, or you lost your career that you've spent the last few decades in, or your husband has died or divorced you and left. Life isn't over. Life may be hard, and you may have to do some difficult things, but it's not over. It's not over. It's just different. Changing your view of what you're experiencing from negative to positive will help you to escape the pit of uselessness, and it will keep you from feeling old. You want to really avoid phrases like, I'm too old for that. I'm too old to start this. And instead, see the world with wonder and possibility. Your attitude will shape everything as you age. So make sure you have a good attitude and see life as possible and with possibility. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, the second thing you want to avoid is living without purpose and motivation. You need to have a reason to get out of bed every day. Whether you are volunteering, starting a second career, helping with your grandkids, working within your community, helping at your church, pursuing a new hobby, whatever it is, you need something that lights your fire and gives you purpose and motivation to keep going. And if you need help identifying your purpose for this phase of your life, you're in luck, because that happens to be my specialty. If you look in the description below, you'll find information about my coaching packages and what I offer to help my clients to find their purpose and to live that purpose with passion. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, the third thing you do not want to do is isolate yourself. There is a new trend going about called the avoidance movement. I did a video about how negative that movement is, and I'll put that right here. And I'm shocked at how mad people got at me about that video, because the truth is, it is scientifically proven to be horrible for you to isolate yourself. People need people. So don't stay alone or cut yourself off from people. Stay social, make new friends. Remain connected to your family, your friends, and your community. And if you're over 50 and alone, remember that it's not too late to love. There still may be a great love for you, and don't be afraid to experience that. There's a couple at our church. They are so cute. But when I first met the husband, he was married to someone else. She died of cancer. Well, his high school sweetheart lived across the country, and she had been married to someone else, and he passed away. The two of them reconnected, and now they are spending the final decades of their lives together, growing old, as old friends and as new loves. And I think that that's something beautiful. So don't close yourself off to love. And if it's love that you are wanting, remember, you get what you give. If you want more love in your life, from friends, from family, from kids, from a spouse or a significant other, you need to give love. Give, and it will come back to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It's not too late to love, but you need to be a person who is giving love, if you want to be a person who's receiving it. I would love to know what your thoughts are on the avoidance movement. If you think that avoiding people is a good thing or a bad thing, I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment below. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, the fourth thing you do not want to do is remain physically and mentally inactive. I see this all the time. Older people get to a certain age and they just stop. And life becomes whatever programs are on TV and the game shows at night, and they're spending their lives sitting at a slot machine or sitting in front of the TV or sitting somewhere. And I think it is really unhealthy. It is bad for you physically and mentally. When did this happen that it's okay to just retire and then not do anything? Like, this is the time to keep moving and determine how you want to grow old. If you want to grow old being active and physical and not having a lot of health issues, you have got to keep your mind and your body active. It matters. It's important. I've watched way too many people do the opposite, and it is not pretty. There's an old Chinese proverb that says this: be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. You can apply that proverb to just about any area of life, but it fit really well into this. So don't be standing still. Even if you're growing slowly, at least you're growing. So get out there, get some movement, and take care of your mind. Read good books, study new theories, and keep up with your kids and your grandkids when it comes to technology. The whole world is running on all of this now. So it's better to keep up with it, and it keeps your brain sharp. So learn, grow, and move that body. The fifth thing you do not want to do is to neglect your physical health. You need to watch your diet, get some exercise, and get to your regular doctor's appointments and keep up on the appointments that you need to keep up on. And you need to adjust your habits to your current body's needs. If you're still eating the same way that you ate in your 20s and 30s and expecting different results, it ain't gonna happen. I can tell you, in my 20s, I could eat a half a gallon of ice cream and lose 5 pounds. Today, if I think about taking a bite of ice cream, I will gain 10 pounds. I don't think that's an exaggeration. It sure feels like that, I have to say. But what worked in my 20s, it doesn't work now. Good night. I've learned recently what worked 2 years ago does not work now. So I am constantly changing things up in my life to fit my current needs. And you need to do the same. So if you haven't changed your diet in all these years, it might be time to reconsider what you're sticking in your mouth. And I encourage you to do regular assessments of your body. Assess and reassess. Assess and reassess. If this isn't working, add something else. So for a while, walking was great for me. Walking was all I needed, and it was doing its job. And now it's not enough. Now I walk with a weighted vest, and I'm doing strength training. And look, I have muscle now. Like, see, I didn't have that when I was 20, but I have it now. Look at that. So because I lift weights now and I'm doing things for my body differently than I used to do it. And the great thing about being over 50, now we have time. We have the time to do it. So do it. And before I leave physical health, I want to say one more thing. Do not accept persistent pain as a normal and natural part of aging. It is not. And this is coming from a person who lived in pain for a long time. And I used to have to take pain meds because my pain was so great. So I know what it's like to live in persistent pain, and it doesn't have to be your normal. That could be where assessing your diet could really help you, because inflammation and sugar are going to cause most or a lot of your pain. I can tell you, I could eat sugar today and tomorrow I will be in pain. So it has a great effect on how your body feels. So you don't have to be in persistent pain. Find the root cause of your pain and then find natural ways to deal with it. They are there. You don't have to live on pain meds. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, the sixth thing you don't want to do is to neglect your mental health. One of the great things about being over 50 is the freedom you find in being able to just say no and get rid of the people who cause you stress. To being able to just step away from toxic people. It is very freeing and it's an amazing experience. So that's one of the benefits of getting over 50. But that's not enough. You really need to control the stress and the negativity in your life as well. For me, having this Aura ring has changed a lot. One thing it has shown me is that I live in a constant state of stress. And I don't feel stressed, but my body is in a constant state of stress. And my doctors think it's because I was sick for so long that my adrenals are just kind of a mess. So now I am changing things in my life to help to control that. Acupuncture has helped me a lot in that area. If you're dealing with stress problems like that, find yourself a good acupuncturist who can help you to calm your sympathetic nervous system, because that has helped me a lot. But I'm also doing breathing exercises and just consciously listening to my body so I can stop when I need to and not push myself when I feel compelled to push myself, so that I don't stay in that constant state of stress. And it is just so important to get control of that. But you want to focus on peace and love and emotional balance and just prioritize your mental wellness. You are important, you are valuable, and your mental wellness matters. And it'll make everybody else's life better too. When you are mentally stable and happy and you're living a fuller life, your spouse, your kids, your family will all be happier for it. And while I'm talking about mental health, I want to also stress the importance of staying independent as you get older and the effect that that has on your mental health. I had years where I was completely dependent on everybody. I couldn't be left alone. I couldn't get my own meals most of the time. I couldn't drive. I couldn't go out of the house by myself. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I had to constantly be cared for all the time. And it was awful. And it wreaked havoc on my mental health because I felt like a burden and I felt like I was just a problem to everyone in my life. And I was fortunate to have wonderful, kind, loving, and gracious people taking care of me. So it wasn't like I was treated badly. I was treated wonderfully. But I hated that feeling. And I remember looking at my husband and saying, I will never be like this again. I will never be in a position where I am completely dependent on other people just to survive again. I'm not doing this again. So I am doing everything I'm doing now so that I can remain independent, so my mental health will stay well too. So keep your dependence. So that means take a look at your finances. And if your finances are not where they need to be, and say you're in your 50s and you still have time, get your finances built up to a place that you are not dependent on the government or on your kids to help take care of you. Take care of your body so that you can keep walking and not have to be dependent on people to get you one place or another. Look at all areas of your life, financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, all those areas, so that you are as strong as you can be and you can keep your independence. It will help you to be happier and to live a fuller life. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, then number 7, make sure you advocate for yourself in medical situations. I cannot stress this enough. You are given 15 minutes when you go into a doctor's office. They do not fully know you. Trust me, they are not sitting down and going over all of your notes and making sure that none of your medications mingle with anything else. They're not paying attention. You have to pay attention to you. And if you are in a place like I was years ago where I couldn't advocate for myself, you need to have someone who advocates for you. I was fortunate to have my husband. My husband wasn't just responsible for saving my life, he saved his dad's life too. He was an advocate for his father, and I believe his father lived another 20 years longer than he would have had my husband not been there to advocate for him, because he found medication mistakes and different treatments that they were using with my father-in-law that were killing him. And it's because my husband advocated for his dad, he lived to be into his 80s. And I am just so grateful for that. And he did the same thing for me. And now I'm able to do that again for myself. And I am always questioning, always paying attention to what's going on. You have to be your own best advocate. 15 minutes in a doctor's office will not do it. When you do go to a regular doctor's office, a Western medicine doctor's office, make sure, knowing you only have that 15 minutes, don't worry about their personal life or your personal life. Go in there prepared, have all the questions that you want answered, and be able to succinctly say what you are there for and know what it is you want to come out with. And if they prescribe medications to you, make sure that you are researching and that you know that those medications are good and right for you and they mix with other things that you're taking. But do the research yourself. Don't just trust people with your health. Bad idea. If I did that, I would be dead. Truly. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, number 8, do not ignore hormonal changes. Science has changed. We are getting more and more information about women's health. And finally, since the 90s, we are actually getting more accurate information about a woman's body. And it's only been recently that people have started to care about women over the age of 50. So we are getting more and more studies that show how valuable hormonal replacement therapies can be. There was one study in the early 2000s that said that hormonal replacement therapy increased your likelihood for breast cancer, and so all the doctors jumped on that. But there have been studies that refute that study. And now they are finding that hormone replacement therapy is actually very beneficial. Your hormones affect your bone health, your lean muscle mass, your brain health, everything. So research for yourself and find yourself a good doctor who specializes in women's health, who is open to trying new things, new and different things, and preferably one who knows what they're talking about. And you might have to find a functional medicine doctor for that. But get your hormones tested and then get the treatment that you need. There are so many options now. You can do pellets, you can do troches like I take, you can do patches and creams, and the possibilities are endless. And every body type is going to have different needs and different amounts that you need. So look into it, learn all that you can, get yourself tested, and get what you need to live your best life. For a fuller and happier life, number 9, you must embrace your evolving identity. You have decades of wisdom and experience. You are not the same person that you were 20, 30, 40 years ago. And isn't that amazing? I was watching The Apprentice the other day and I was screaming at these women on the TV. I'm like, why are you being so stupid? That's not leadership. That's not how you talk to somebody in business. And then I started laughing because I realized I was her. Like I was like that when I was younger. And I'm not now because I'm not 20. I'm not 25. I'm 55. And so I have changed and grown and learned from all of my years of experience. So yeah, we're not that same person emotionally and mentally. So why do we expect ourselves to be that same person physically? Our bodies are just different. Our bodies are shaped different before childbearing, and they're shaped differently after menopause. Yeah. So to the point that you don't even recognize them, but it's still, it's beautiful in its own way. And so we can't expect to be what we were then in any way. And we shouldn't, because we're growing and we're changing. Have you ever known a person who hasn't changed over the years? Like, and this is in a negative way, I'm saying, because they're still selfish, self centered, egotistical. They still own the world, still just revolves around them. I think that's sad. I think it's sad when people don't grow, change, and evolve through the years. And I think it's a good thing. Let's embrace our evolving identities and see the blessing in that. And then just become the best version of yourself that you can, because that'll bring you happiness and a fuller life. To live a fuller and happier life, number 10, do not avoid new experiences. We can get so set in our ways the older that we get, but it is so important to be open to trying new things. Now, I say that and also want to say do it in a safe manner, because you don't want to break a hip or anything. But it's important that we stay open to trying new and fun things. I'm always like that. I have two personalities. I'm either like mature, and serious, or like my children tell me, I'm like an 8-year-old. And that's true. I'm a child. I love childish things. I will never forget a couple of years ago getting an invitation to a birthday party for a friend of mine in her 50s. And she was having a bouncy house and bubble guns. And I sent my daughter a message. I'm like, bouncy house and bubble guns. I was so excited. And I couldn't wait to go to the party and bounce in the bouncy house and play with the bubble guns, because life is fun. Life has so much seriousness that you have to take the moments that are just light and fun and go with them. So don't be afraid to try new experiences and look at life through childlike lenses, because it just makes it more interesting, fuller, and happier. If you want to live a fuller and happier life, number 11, do not postpone important things that you will regret later, like travel. If you want to travel, to continue to put it off is silly, because first of all, no one has a guarantee as to how long they will be here in this world. You don't know how much time you have or how much time your spouse has. So take the time, take the trip, go and have fun and see the world and do all the things that you'll regret not doing later. And it's the same thing with experiences. If you enjoy concerts, or there's a art museum somewhere you've always wanted to see, go do it. You're not even guaranteed tomorrow, for goodness sakes. Like, go now and enjoy the things that you've really been wanting to do. Our daughter graduates this week, and we are so excited, because for the first time in 25 years, we're going to have no financial responsibility to anyone except ourselves. And we're like, oh, what can we do now? Could we travel somewhere? Could we go on a trip? Could we put more money in retirement? Like, what are we going to do? Like, it is so exciting to think that we actually have some freedom now to do something. Who knows what we'll do? I'd still like to go to Europe, honey. Anyway, I haven't been. So just when you're watching this, don't forget Europe. But while we're talking about things that you'll regret if you don't do them, let's talk about some serious ones too. How's your retirement plan? Are you ready? Do you need to maybe have a little side hustle to get more money put into your retirement plan? Make sure you've talked that out. You know what your plan is, and you have a good plan in place, and you're implementing that, because it makes all the difference in what your retirement years will look like. What about your estate planning documents? Are all of those in place? Are they updated? Does your executor know where to find everything? If something happens to you, does your spouse know where to find everything? Make sure you have all of that updated and in place. I know these are hard conversations, but they need to be had. And don't forget your death plans. Do you want your loved ones to have to handle hard decisions when they're dealing with either your impending death or your death, like, should they have to go through that just because you didn't take time to do it? Take time, sit down with your spouse or your kids, whoever needs to be involved, and make sure you have your plan together, what you want at the end of your life, what you want after your death, even just assigning your things to people. Make sure that the important, valuable things are assigned so there's no fighting over your estate once you're gone. You don't want your loved ones having to go through things like that. When they're dealing with the loss of you, shouldn't that be enough? Just take care of things so that nothing's left open ended. Remember that whatever you don't do, your loved ones are going to have to do. So be kind to the people that you love and don't leave a mess behind. So if you need to go through your house and declutter and clean things up and organize things, wouldn't that be a nice thing to do for whoever has to come in later and do it? I spent 2 months away from my family dealing with my mother's estate because nothing was done. So I lost 2 months with my kids and my husband trying to do those things. So take care of your things so your family can keep living their lives once you're gone. And number 12, if you want to live a fuller and happier life, don't neglect your appearance. Take care of how you look. I know this seems like a trivial thing, but it is scientifically proven that people who fix themselves up even a little bit perform better and see life differently. Present yourself well to the world because it tells them that you have value, that you see value in yourself. Dress well and groom yourself and take care of your nails and, just keep things trimmed. You know, just present yourself well and think about what people are looking back at. You don't have to look perfect and you don't have to be wrinkle free and all of that. Just fix your hair, put a little lipstick on, style your clothes a little bit. Just take care of yourself and present yourself well. I remember years ago reading a story about this older woman. So I looked her up, but her name was Peggy Jones. And her husband had died. And so she had ended up in a nursing home because she was legally blind. But every morning she would get up early in the morning and she would do her hair and her makeup and she would dress herself nicely and present herself well to the world. She embraced a positive attitude and she believed that happiness was a choice and that happiness was not dependent on your external circumstances. And I think that that kind of attitude is just so beautiful. So as you pursue a fuller and happier life, be a Peggy, you know, just take a few minutes in the morning to clean yourself up and to present yourself well to the world. You'll be glad you did. And the people looking at you will be glad you did too. So what things are you going to avoid now so that you can live a fuller and happier life? And maybe you have some things that I didn't think about for this list. I would love to hear about them. So let me know in the comments below some things that you are going to start avoiding or things you've already started avoiding so that you can live a fuller and happier life. If you liked this video, would you hit that like button? And if you're not subscribed, which 50% of you are not subscribed to my channel. So if you could hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell, it'll let you know whenever I post a new video. I don't make money when you subscribe to my channel or when you hit like, but it tells YouTube that people like what I'm putting out. So they're more likely to share my videos with other people. So if you want to help me live a fuller and happier life, you can hit that like and subscribe button and help a girl out. Remember that the best years of your life are not behind you. They are actually unfolding right now in front of you. As I close today, I want to leave you with this one thought. Your life after 50 isn't about accepting limitations. It's about challenging them. The world may try to tell you that your most powerful days are behind you, but I'm here to remind you that this is when your wisdom, experience, and fierce determination will converge to create something magnificent. The question isn't whether you're too old to start something new. The question is, what will you start today that your 80-year-old self will thank you for? And until next time, carry on.